Well, hello class. So here we are talking about chapter 2, and it's media literacy in the digital age. Now this one will be a lot shorter than the first one because it's just a lot of it is kind of a recap of chapter 1 as well. So let's get right to it. All right, education in the media. So for those of you who have recently graduated from school, have you noticed were teachers bringing more media into the classroom? I noticed now, I think it was Bishop T.K. Gorman, they had a notice on their Facebook page where all the students got a MacBook this semester. So you can tell that education is changing to help with this digital age and to get students ready, because we're only going forward, we're not going back. Okay, so media literacy. Fake news, that has been a big deal in the past couple of years. Unfortunately, good with the bad. I'll be saying that a lot this semester, good with the bad. Digital media, mass communication, convergence, all of this can be good. However, there are things out there that are not true, and you have to be careful of the types of consumption that the types of things that you read, the types of stuff that you consume on a daily basis, and learn how to spot the differences in truth and not so truth. Now, there are some companies out there or websites that are satirical in nature, and that's okay. The Onion is one of them. So I would suggest, if you want to get a good, what it feels to have a good satirical voice, go to the Onion and read some of their material. But you can tell they're satire, and they say they're satire. So they are upfront, they are transparent about it. So, but what you need to do as a mass communication journalist is, or in the mass communication field, you have to be able to analyze your content, okay? Because not everything is going to be true. You're going to have to be able to spot different things like personal bias, media bias, outright, opinions versus fact. So you've got to be able to spot that, because that will kind of help guide you whether or not that content is going to be worthwhile and fact-based. Okay. And mediated communication is different because of these two things, right? It's that mediated information, you've got your signs, your symbols, and your words. It's all affecting us in different ways. So, but it affects us in different ways, but it's made to still look natural. Semiotics. So here's some things to read about within the chapter. I'm not going to go through all these. And then the framing. This is how you choose to tell a story. You, as a true journalist, you have to be able to tell all sides of the story. There's always more than one side. And the way you frame it can make the difference between what you intended to say and what the audience actually, what they received, how they received that information. Okay, here are some early concerns. It goes back to Socrates and Plato. And influence of internet and video games, that's another big deal. I mean, the latest, and I just blanked on it, but there just seems to be an influx of kids playing video games rather than going outside and indulging in what us 80s kids feel like was the best part of growing up, just getting outside and enjoying the outdoors. So you have to be careful even if you're still raising your children or grandchildren for that matter, just watch what they consume, because it will affect how they act. It will. Okay, the different kinds of grammar. So it's different between these four things, and it's just how they, because you start out with your print, your radio, film, and now your digital. So it changes because you don't want to be static on everything. You do want a little bit of variety, but you still have to be able to convey the truth. Print is probably one of the oldest to radio. Okay, and the grammar's pretty much set in the print media because we've had it a long time. We've got a good style going, the AP style book. So it's pretty set on being consistent in this one way. Now, radio and recorded music, there are different. One, you've got the sound effects and voiceovers, but the recorded, you can get more stylistic with it. You can more background and dubbing and different changes and styles and that sort of thing. I don't listen to talk radio. I wonder, do any of y'all listen to talk radio? Film and television. So film and television, especially when you get to your movies, they have more leeway in what they convey to the audience. TV is not so much because, like it says here, you've got smaller production values and budgets. So, and yes, we all know that sitcoms use laugh tracks. So, digital media. Okay, digital media. The grammar, thankfully, is coming back. Beginning when we got the smartphones and everything, you would get the text that it would be the abbreviated text like BRB and all that. Thankfully, we're getting away from that, but it's still evolving. So, digital media. Where I worked, we stuck with the AP style mostly, just trying to keep that same consistency. Okay, and here's some things about the implications of commercial media. And the debate, the greater influence, and then the profit motive. And of course, the profit motive moves into the media ownership. The latest, when one company takes over another company and they become an oligopoly. I think I pronounced that right. It's in your chapter. Look it up. But that's what the it's late and I'm forgetting it. But they're the company that's there to help regulate the rules on how the different ownership, so that you don't have one company that owns an overshare of media versus another company. So, and here are the reasons why. Okay, and there is media bias, unfortunately, and it happens, and you see it every day, and I don't know how much it frustrates you, but it really frustrates me. So, that's what it's about, and that's the one thing that if you want to be a journalist, you need to make sure you're not showing bias in your reporting. It's a big no-no, and it can kill your career. So, to get your media literacy skills, these are some of the things that you need to think about. And it's all covered in Chapter 2. So, you're making the media, but you have to understand and you have to answer the questions of everything involved so that you get all sides of it and you can put it forth correctly. Okay? And Before I go, I'm going to give you that bonus word again for Chapter 2. I told you this was going to be really short. The bonus word is hurricane. So make sure you're reading Chapter 2. Make sure you watched and listened to Chapter 1 as well. I'm going to go ahead and work on turning on the quiz, getting that up and started for you. And next week we will go into Module 2, which is print media, the different types of media. Now, instead of doing 2 separate videos like I did tonight, I will have 1 video for the next 4 weeks. I think that's going to help everybody out. And the other thing I want you to look at is the journal assignment. I'm going to open that as well. So I want you to start thinking about and getting ready to do your journal assignment. Okay, have a good evening.